Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack447TV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I guess since you tuned in to the previous thoughts video that I did on Iron Lung for sure, looks like I'm going to be talking about the second movie that I actually got to see very recently for sure as part of my double feature that I actually got to do earlier today for sure. So yeah, I'm living up to my promise, hands down, so I might as well give you guys exactly that. So yeah. So I guess pretty much ever since I did talk about Iron Lung that was given to us by a well-known YouTuber, Markiplier for sure, looks like this movie I'm going to be talking about this time around, well, I think it's time to shift gears for once as we now go ahead and talk about pretty much a movie that's given to us by well-known director Sam Raimi. Yeah, I guess it is actually quite interesting to go this route for sure, and yeah, by all means, who doesn't love Sam Raimi for sure? Yeah, I think with, of course, the amount of movies that he's actually putting out for sure. In fact, I might have talked about pretty much a few of his movies in the past for sure. So I guess pretty much of anything, I guess it is no exception that I would actually talk about this film that he actually got to pretty much put out very recently for sure. And well, I guess since he actually did pull off great work directing the Spider-Man trilogy, and I know I did talk about one of his films in the past, which is the Doctor Strange sequel for sure. I guess pretty much of anything, I think it's time that we go back to the Sam Raimi that had pretty much we know pretty much of anything. See him go back to his roots for sure. Yeah, especially with his work in horror for sure. So yeah, that's the Sam Raimi that we all know for sure. Pretty much putting together such really great horror movies by far that are actually really fun to watch, especially with, of course, what he did with the Evil Dead movies and Drag Me to Hell, just to name me a few. So yeah, and luckily enough, for the sake of this movie we're going to be talking about, it is actually a really interesting one by far, but boy, I think we're going to be in for a real great time to talk about this one for sure. Which does require getting stranded on a deserted island for sure. And yeah, based on that hint I actually gave for sure, I think it will get you the idea, of course, pretty much on what I'm actually talking about with today's movie for sure. So yeah. But anyways, I think it's time that we do exactly that as we talk about pretty much today's movie that I got to see very recently, which is none other than Send Help. So yeah, that is of course what I can say. Of course, that front is of course the latest film that just came out very recently for sure. And boy, I've got a lot to say on, of course, this movie as a whole for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty. Alrighty then, well, I guess pretty much of anything, before going into this movie, I'll be honest, I was really quite surprised from what I've actually learned about this movie based on when I saw the trailers for that movie as a whole. Yeah, honestly, I really didn't know what I was expecting going into, of course, this one for sure. In fact, I think from what I can gather, I think pretty much the trailer does play out as, of course, pretty much play out as like a psychological version of Office Space for stars, but then transitioning over to something given to us from the show Lost for sure. So yeah. Honestly, I think it's probably what I could say based on what I've actually saw in the trailer for sure. But pretty much from what I could gather, I did get myself quite curious about this one and see on where they're going to go. Of course, that front for of course this movie for sure, because there's a lot of really great possibilities just waiting to happen for sure. So yeah, that's what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess it's after pretty much getting myself in pretty much seeing Iron Lung not too long ago for sure. I decided to pretty much follow that up by seeing this movie as part of my double feature that I got to do, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas as usual. So yeah, and now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, yeah, I guess from what I can gather, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind from what I've actually seen, I really do think this movie is actually really well done, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I think with what I've actually seen by far, I really enjoyed this movie for what it is. It really actually wanted to give me such a great time for sure, and yeah, with what I've actually seen, they really did the job very well for sure. I enjoyed what this movie actually has provided, and I really do think it is actually a really great one in my opinion, hands down. So yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, to me, I really do think the story in this movie is very straightforward from what I've actually seen, and I really do think it is actually structured out quite well. That I really do think is actually really nicely done, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I think with what I've actually seen, I really do think they really pretty much hit all the bullet points from what I can gather to really make this movie work quite well, and I really do admire on what they actually did. I really do follow through on everything that goes on for sure, and yeah, they really nailed it out of the ballpark from what I've actually seen to really actually give me such a great time for sure. So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess with what I've actually seen, I am really hooked on with what they actually did with the story, and of course, this movie for sure. So yeah. And not to mention the writing, I have to say, as another aspect, that too along is also done very, very well in my opinion, as I really do think they really putting a lot of hard-working effort crafting the pretty much this movie together for sure, through its writing for sure, and yeah, I really do think they really did a bang-up job, of course, that from what I can gather, and I really do think it is actually really quite nicely done, I'm not gonna lie. So So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, given to what I've actually said, I really enjoyed on how straightforward and how structured out the story for, of course, this movie is for sure. And yeah, at the same time, I also love how well crafted the writing is as well to really get me in for one interesting time for sure. And yeah, they really did accomplish that quite well from what I've actually seen. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I need to talk about for sure, to which next up is, of course, the characters. And yeah, I think from what I've actually seen, of course, this movie, I really do love on how well developed the characters are for sure, and everything, and I do mean everything that they actually did to actually make them likable and interesting for sure. And yeah, I really do think it is actually really nicely done from what I've actually seen for sure. And yeah, I really got myself hooked on pretty much with what he actually has to throw into the table for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, I really do love and admire on what they actually did with the characters in, of course, this movie for sure. So yeah, at least it's what I could say, of course, that front. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I guess there's no doubt in my mind. I really love what they did with the actors for sure. I really do think they really pulled off such really great performances, in my opinion, that I really do think works quite well for sure. And yeah, I really do think they really did a bang-up job, of course, that front, especially with the two massive standouts in, of course, this movie, in my opinion, which are, of course, pretty much Rachel McAdams and, of course, Dylan O'Brien for sure. I really do admire their performances all the way, and yeah, they are definitely the massive standouts in, of course, this movie, and I really do love on what they actually did with the two of them for sure. So yeah, I can tell they really work well together throughout the course of this movie for sure, and it really does show exactly that, hands down. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, given to what I've actually mentioned, I really love on what they did with the characters for sure, and the actors really did a bang-up job in, of course, this movie all the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alright then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about for sure? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, so yeah, and I guess, surprisingly enough, pretty much like what I did the last couple of times, I guess seeing how this is indeed a horror movie for sure, I think we should definitely talk about the one thing when it comes to horror movies for sure, and that being, of course, the tone and atmosphere for sure. So yeah, and to me, I really do admire on what they actually did with the tone and atmosphere, and of course, this movie for sure. Yeah, I think pretty much of anything, it is actually flowed out quite well from what I can gather for sure, and yeah, I think pretty much of anything, it actually goes from, of course, being very calming, pretty much relaxing, pretty much like it was how it started for sure, all the way towards psychotic and, of course, creepy sometime later for sure. So yeah, I think pretty much of anything, that shift pretty much as the movie goes on for sure, I really do think is actually quite nice for sure, and yeah, that's actually the one thing I really do love about really great horror movies in my opinion for sure. they really want to set everything up in a nice comments to do matter for sure, right before he gets right into the creepy stuff for sure. And yeah, they really did a bang up job in, of course, this movie for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure. And not to mention, pretty much a good number of areas where he actually does get frightening and scary for sure. I really do feel the massive impact for sure. Yeah, I think they really actually sold it off quite well. And of course, pretty much trying to go for some of the pretty much the really creepy and scary moments that they actually showed off for sure. And I really do feel the massive impact of all of that for sure. That's something that I know couldn't be topped anytime soon for sure. And yeah, this movie actually did do a bang up job, of course, that front. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. And of course, the production design from what I've actually seen. Yeah, I will have to admit, I really do think it is actually very nicely done, I'm not gonna lie, with, of course, some really great location scouting that they actually did, to some really nice set pieces that they actually put together for sure. And even, I think, the hair and makeup work that they actually did, just to name me a few, really is actually very nicely done from what I can gather. And not to mention as well, the visuals and the effects as well, I really do think really does blend in perfectly with the film's surroundings, pretty much from what I can gather for sure. I really do think it is actually the strongest pretty much part, and of course, this movie, in my opinion. And yeah, they really did do a bang up job from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, and of course, the direction in this film from director Sam Raimi, yeah, I can tell he really putting a lot of hard-working effort to really make this movie work for sure. And I really do think he really did a bang-up job, of course, that front for sure. So yeah, I can tell he really wanted to make this movie work quite well, and yeah, and it really does show in the finished product all the way. I really admire on what he actually did, hands down, to make this one stand out, and I do applaud him for exactly that for sure. So yeah, and of course, the cinematography, I will have to say, is actually really outstanding, with some really great camera shots that they actually did for sure. And yeah, I can tell they really did do a bang-up job, of course, what they did with the cinematography, and it really does show exactly that. So yeah, and of course, the editing, I have to say, is of course really cut up perfectly, hands down, yeah, with some really great cuts that they actually did to really get everything flow down quite well from what I've actually seen. And I really do admire on what they actually did, hands down for sure. And not to mention as well, that it also matches perfectly with the film's pacing, in addition to all of the hag, as it really does flow everything the we would actually want to expect from, of course, this movie. And yeah, they really actually did do a bang-up job, of course, that front from what I've actually seen. Yeah, I can tell they really want to work hard, of course, that front for sure. And yeah, I think it is, of course, what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I guess give it to all that, give it to what I've actually mentioned. Yeah, I think it would definitely show on how much I really enjoyed this movie all the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, I think with everything that I've actually mentioned, I think it will, yeah, I think it's pretty much what I can say for all those hands down. So So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything. Overall, Send Help, I really do think is a really fantastic and really incredible movie from what I can gather that really actually knows how to be psychological and of course creepy at the same time, but also actually having a real pretty much one hell of a great time for sure, and yeah, I think with what I've actually seen, they really did accomplish that quite well in my opinion. So yeah, I think with, of course, everything that I've actually seen throughout the course of the entire movie, from what I can gather, they really nailed it from what I've actually seen for sure. And yeah, I really do think they really had a lot going to really make this one work quite well. And yeah, they actually did do the job very well from what I've actually seen. And I was really hooked on with what I can gather for sure that I really do think is actually really nicely done, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, yeah, I really do think this is actually a really fantastic movie from what I've actually seen, and moreover, I really do think it is actually a really great, nice return to form for Sam Raimi in the horror route for sure, because, yeah, with what I've actually seen, I think he definitely deserves to pretty much get himself in to direct a brand new horror flick, hands down, and yeah, he really did the job very well from what I've actually seen, and yeah, this movie actually really does show exactly that for sure. So yeah, I guess with what I've actually mentioned for sure, yeah, I really enjoyed what this movie has provided, hands down, and yeah, I do highly recommend checking this one out for sure. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, you're really gonna be in for one hell of a great time if you actually do plan on seeing this movie for yourself, hands down for sure. I know I did from what I've actually seen, and I know you're definitely gonna be in for such a great time, hands down. So yeah, I enjoyed this movie for what it is, and I do highly recommend checking this one out for sure. Even if you're stranded on a deserted island like our main characters in, of course, this movie. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I guess it is actually, I guess it is in need of course, this one for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna give Send Help a really, really nice 9 out of 10 as my final score. So yeah, I really love what they actually did with, of course, this one, and I am really impressed with what they've actually pulled off for sure. So yeah, I really enjoyed it for what it is, and trust me when I say that you're gonna be in for one great time for sure. So yeah, this movie is well worth the watch in my opinion, and I do highly recommend checking this one out for yourself for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that one. Alrighty then, well, I guess on that thought alone, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I'm gonna ask all of you guys, what do you think of Send Help if you've actually seen it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think it's a really great movie that's well worth checking out? Or do you absolutely hate it and think it's an absolute waste of time? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just okay for the most part? Let me know what you thought of this movie down in the comments down below. I'm quite curious to see on what you guys think of course, this one. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this this latest thoughts video, and whew, well, I guess another double feature has pretty much has officially come and gone for sure, and boy, it was actually a real great time for sure. And well, now that we got those two out of the way, I'll be quite curious to see what I'll be talking about for the next movie I'll actually talk about later on down the road. I mean, I've got some options, but I'll keep you guys informed on what ones I'll actually talk about for sure. So yeah, I know there's a whole lot out there, but I can't wait to see where we're gonna go for sure. So yeah, I'll definitely let you guys know on what I'll be talking about in my next Fox video for sure. As long as, of course, it's not Melania. Yeah, I pretty much did what I had to do in giving it a non-review after I said I'm not gonna see it. And boy, with what I've actually pretty much done in my rant video on that, I'm not regretting that decision all the way. So yeah. But either way, I'll definitely let you guys know on what I'll talk about in the next pretty much Fox video for sure. But until that happens, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427’s Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.